This is a major threat to the GDP number that the president is talking about right now. That would be these tariffs, because the tariff is nothing more than a tax. And in the end, when you tax people more, they have less disposable income on which to spend within the economy. So this is a possible impediment to these wonderful, robust GDP numbers. And now we're hearing China upping the tariff ante.
Yeah, I mean, there's no winner in a trade war. It's broken window economics. Trump, I believe, is coming after it with a good heart. He sees that there has been a trade imbalance, that the trade doesn't seem fair. But the fact is when you go to war on trade, it's just not going to break out right. But let's focus on these GDP numbers, at least to start. A 4.1 GDP from last quarter was the highest since 2014. And Donald Trump, President Trump's projections are actually correct. We could hit 5%, and that would be gigantic. It's something that they would have considered laughable just a few months ago. And I myself, this is the first time where I will say this is the Donald Trump economy. Previously, I've said it to you, I called it the not Obama economy, where, we just got Obama out of office and the economy was kind of getting used to that. The regulations weren't on the table, taxes weren't on the table. But now Donald Trump has passed a tax reform plan and he's actually growing the economy and growing jobs. But the tariffs, as you say, they're raising costs across the economy. Sodas are starting to increase. We've seen farmers already get a bailout of $12 billion. It's starting to have its effects, and that could really harm the growth.
Yeah, this is the Trump economy for sure. It's funny, I just kind of chuckled there because I thought back to the Obama administration when he first took over in the first couple of years. He was blaming everything on George W. Bush because it was all bad economic news, when in fact it was the Obama economy. But you mentioned sodas. It's interesting what happens when you're in a tariff war. You raise the tariff on aluminum and steel coming in from Canada, for example, and it doesn't happen in an isolation booth. In other words, the U.S. companies, most steel is produced in the United States that we use, that we consume. And so the U.S. steel companies and aluminum companies, they see this, and they see where the tariff pressure point is. And so these domestic companies raise the price of their domestic steel and aluminum. Ipso facto, we now have a tariff, a new tax on sodas.
Yeah, I mean, I've never understood a tariff war. As an economist, we're free traders, and the fact is if another country wants to subsidize production of something, that's really just like a donation to the U.S. That's a donation to our businesses so that they can do more and make a product at a cheaper price so everybody's better off here.
Right.
But when you start raising those prices, you start having less product sold because of higher prices, which means you have lower employment, lower growth, and it's just an overall drag on the economy. This isn't a race in the right direction. That said, it has worked with Europe. So yeah. I don't think that President Trump really wants a tariff war. I don't think he wants to keep raising tariffs on everything. I think his heart is in the right place. I don't see the end, though, but he has gotten an end with the EU. So maybe I will stand corrected at the end, but for right now, it's a bad play.
In other words, this is a means to an end, and these are temporary. That would be the key word here. These are temporary to try and hammer out these trade deals that the president wants to have more in the favor of the United States, and we completely understand that. So I guess it's one of those situations where there possibly could be some economic pain before you have this economic gain. But in the meantime, we have this wonderful GDP number. So it's a very interesting, intriguing situation for economists like yourself. And we know, Charlie, you'll keep your eye on all of this stuff. Thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.